Hey everybody, it is Dak here from the Ed Boys, and today we're going to be talking about the Guardians of the Rift. Guardians of the Rift is a skilling boss that recently passed the poll and is expected to be added to the game in March. I guess technically it's going to be a mini game, not a skilling boss, but from the rundown of the gameplay, it looks to be very comparable to Temperos and a little bit of a pest control vibe without any combat though. The goal of Guardians of the Rift is going to be giving us a new runecrafting training method that will be good XP rates, give some unique runecrafting rewards, and it's going to be a little more interactive and fun than traditional runecrafting. In other words, Jagex would like to change the norm with runecrafting, which is pretty much just a bank trip simulator until 77, and then it's not necessarily a lot more fun, it's just less click intensive once you get to Zaya. In this video, I'm going to be briefly going over the gameplay that we expect from Guardians of the Rift, then what Jagex has proposed for the general XP rates, and finally the rewards that you can get from Guardians of the Rift, and my overall thoughts on the upcoming content. I want to stay as brief as possible really when going over the gameplay, since we only have a couple of visuals so far, and that's going to be a much bigger focus on my Guardians of the Rift first looks video when the content actually comes out. The main part of this that reminds me of Pest Control is there's going to be this Great Guardian in the center, similar to the Void Knight that you have to keep alive in Pest Control. The Great Guardian is very important to you. The Great Guardian is going to be trying to close an open rift in the room, and that's like the entire purpose of the minigame, is that the rift opens up, this Great Guardian's trying to close it back up. Once it closes, you win. Similar to Wintertodt and Temperos, you're going to be collecting items that are available in that room, like charged batteries or mining some essence shards. You're going to be able to use these things along with pure essence that you have to provide yourself to charge and upgrade shield guardians and rift guardians around the room. These guardians will attack and shield the Great Guardian from abyssal creatures that are trying to kill it. So you have to protect the Great Guardian in the middle, just like in Pest Control, but that's only through skilling means, just like other skilling bosses. As far as I can tell, there's going to be zero combat in here, and likely zero damage will be taken, but we will see. Jagex has broken down the exact 3 phases of the fight a little bit more for us in the overall process for helping the Greater Guardian and what you can do during the fight to actually do this, but that can easily be seen on the blog post or the wiki's page about it, which are both linked in the description. And again, the first looks video that I put for Guardians of the Rift will actually focus pretty heavily on the gameplay. This video is a little bit more focused on what we expect to see on the rewards. Let's go ahead and talk about the XP rates that we expect from Guardians of the Rift. Jagex has given us a neat chart showing the XP from here compared to other popular training methods. It's fair to state that this table does not include XP rates while you're using Day Alt Essence, and I'm not 100% sure if Day Alt Essence will even be able to be used in the minigame. I assume that you can use Day Alt Essence during the Guardians of the Rift minigame, but either way, this is a solid comparison to see, because even if you can use it, then Day Alt Essence is going to affect each of these rates equally anyway, and if you can't use Day Alt Essence in the Guardians of the Rift, then this is still the XP rate we're looking at from Pure Essence, so we get a good idea here. You need 27 runecrafting to start playing the minigame, so right at 27, you expect to land a simple 20k XP an hour, and potentially at higher levels you can get up to 60k XP an hour is what they're going for, which is very similar XP rates that you would get from like ZMI. I think the goal is to be slightly faster than ZMI for the most part, and they're really not letting us get any faster than Lava Runes. The exact XP rates that we expect to get from the minigame are very much subject to change, especially after the minigame is released and it actually gets tested by like thousands and thousands of players instead of just the Jagex testing team. Jagex does a good job at landing the XP rates very near what they want them, but once a ton of people try it out, somebody always ends up finding a method that breaks it a little bit. Jagex tends to do a very good job on rebalancing the content too if it's not exactly what they wanted it to be right out the gate, so we could see some changes in things like XP rates early on. Guardians of the Rift is going to be a good training method for runecrafting, potentially shrinking down the total hours that we're going to have to spend just running from the altar and teleporting back to the bank, so overall these XP rates do get a thumbs up from me. Collecting rewards from this minigame looks like it is going to be similar to Temperos. You're going to gain reward points called Elemental Energy and Catalytic Energy. There's going to be 2 different kinds of reward points, but both of them can be just turned into the reward rift. I imagine the Catalytic Energy is probably going to be more valuable than the Elemental Energy. We'll see exactly how that works though. This is a little bit more convenient for stacking up a lot of rewards than just having like Wintertodt crates, is being able to have these reward points and then using it on the rift whenever you want. This way you don't have to use bank space to stack up your rewards if you want to. Collecting from the reward pool, or the reward rift is what it'll be. It's mostly going to give you runes. I think talismans will also be in there. It can also give you abyssal pearls though. Abyssal pearls are going to be used as currency in the reward shop for this minigame. So rather than just pulling uniques at random from the reward rift, you can spend your pearls at the shop to go ahead and get your uniques. The reward shop will also have regular items like talismans, so this might be a less RNG dependent way of landing a nature talisman for an Iron Man who happens to need that for like their fairy rings. It's also a good chance that you'll be able to buy runes directly from the shop too, I imagine. locations, so this might be another way to collect runes. Probably not the fastest way to collect your own runes, but you will be getting runes as a reward and could use points on the runes, I imagine. I don't know. We'll see exactly how all of that balances out. One of the uniques that you can buy from the rewards shop is going to be a blood talisman, which is going to give access to a true blood altar. The true blood altar is going to be a blood runecrafting altar in Mauritania, where you can take traditional runecrafting runs to it instead of the Zaya runecrafting altar to make blood runes. This is going to make more blood runes per hour than Zaya runecrafting, and they say that it should be about the same XP rates as wrath runes, which if I'm not mistaken, wrath runes are pretty similar XP rates to blood runecrafting. I think slightly slower, but overall it's not going to be that much less runecrafting XP doing the true blood altar. So True Blood Altar is going to be a more click-intensive way to get more bloods, similar XP, and also it's going to require using Sins of the Father, and there's going to be an agility shortcut for the True Blood Altar, so getting the max speeds is going to require decent agility. Another item that can be purchased from the reward shop is going to be the Abyssal Needle. If you use an Abyssal Needle on one of your essence pouches while you have all four of the small, medium, large, and giant pouches on you, it's going to sew the pouches together, creating a colossal pouch. This pouch holds the same amount as using all four of those pouches, but it only takes up one inventory space. You can't use the colossal pouch with 4 more runecrafting pouches. Once you make the colossal pouch, you can't go get the other pouches anymore. The goal of the colossal pouch is really just to make using the pouches more convenient, not necessarily double up on your total rune pouch space. The pouch is going to require 56 crafting to make with the Abyssal Needle, and it's going to require 85 rune crafting to be able to use it. The Catalytic Talisman is going to be added to the game. We already have an Elemental Talisman, which gives you access to the Elemental Runecrafting altars, which would be air, water, earth, and fire. The Catalytic Talisman is going to work for every other altar, including the new True Blood altar. You will be able to turn this Catalytic Talisman into a tiara, and they're going to be adding the ability to make the original Elemental Talisman into a tiara. The Ring of Elements is a reward that you can buy from the shop. The ring is going to have 4 different teleports on it, giving the ability to teleport outside any of the 4 elemental runecrafting altars, so a few more teleport locations. The only question that didn't pass this entire poll was making this ring free to play. This doesn't mean that you could just do the activity and grind out the ring in free to play. Rather, you could buy one from the Grain Exchange from like a pay to play member, or if somebody that had the ring from a pay to play world just went over to the free to play worlds, they could just give it to you, sure, but unfortunately for the free to play players, you get no ring. Next in the reward shop, we've got the Abyssal Lantern, which I am very interested in seeing the look of this one. I don't know why, but I do have high hopes for the fashionscape on this item. It's going to be worn in your shield slot, and it can be charged up with logs. Any logs from redwoods all the way down to just regular logs can be used in it. A charged Abyssal Lantern is going to get bonus while you're doing the Guardians of the Abyss minigame, giving us new actual use for logs. You can only use 2 logs worth of charges per run, and exactly how helpful each perk from the Lantern is remains to be seen, but I am happy to see a step in the right direction for actually using logs. Resources like logs are extremely cheap because it's very easy to collect a ton of them, and there's not that many things that consistently use a lot of logs. You can level up construction, fletching, and fire making using logs. Once you reach whatever your level goal is, you're done with that though, so there's really no repeated use for logs. Unlike food and runes and herbs and potion secondaries, that stuff gets used all the time, so to me it's a thumbs up that this lantern is going to be using up even just a couple of logs. With new content being added to the game, there's always a question from pet hunters. Will there be a new pet? An abyssal creature pet has passed the polls, so the answer for this minigame is yes, new pet. Jagex was going to add a Great Guardian pet for this minigame, but we already have a Rift Guardian pet that you can get from traditional runecrafting. I don't know exactly how the Great Guardian is going to look compared to the Rift Guardian, but I imagine they're going to be fairly similar. Probably like a cooler second look with the Great Guardian, probably a nice like trimmed version of it, but reasonably players didn't want there to be a whole new pet that was so similar to another pet already in the game. So Jagex will be adding the Abyssal Creature pet that you can get rarely from the Rift Reward, or the Reward Rift rather. It's not something that you can buy in the shop, just getting stuff out of the reward pool, just like with Temperos, that's how you're going to be able to get the pet. The Abyssal Creature will likely look like one of these 3 creatures from the Abyss. I really do think it would be a 10 out of 10 troll for Jagex to just make the Abyssal Creature look exactly like the Abyssal Orphan pet from the Sire. Not gonna lie, that would get a good laugh out of me. So the Great Guardian has not just been dumped, it's not an idea that's off the table. Jagex is going to be adding a reward in the reward shop that can be used on the Rift Guardian runecrafting pet to give it a transmog option, making it look like a Great Guardian. The transmog would be from the reward shop, like I said, so you can spend Abyssal Pearls on it. You don't just have to get lucky for the transmog drop, though of course you do have to get pretty lucky to get the runecrafting pet in the first place. Lastly, for the rewards, we have the Runecrafting outfit. This outfit looks very good visually. I actually think the concept art makes it look like it's going to be a pretty sweet looking outfit in general. It's going to have a practical use to it though. Wearing the outfit while traditional runecrafting is going to give you bonus runes, 10% more runes per piece. There's 4 pieces of the outfit, but with the full outfit, you're going to get a bonus on top of that for up to 60% more runes while runecrafting. Skilling outfits are generally focused more towards getting a little bit more XP from whatever skill that you're part of, but since this whole update is just about giving us a good training method already, the outfit's a little bit more focused on the money-making side of this skill. Runecrafting is some of the best money-making that you're going to find from just skilling. There's not a lot of non-combat money-makers that beat runecrafting methods when it comes to money per hour, and now that they get an even bigger bonus, that's actually pretty dope. I enjoy when new content adds more money-making potential, but it also requires you to actually go do the old method. It just makes the old method a little bit better. Like the blood essence from Nex, it gives you more blood runes, but you still have to actually go grind out blood runes. This outfit will have a couple of recolor options that will also be purchasable from the reward shop for you fashion scapenistas. I am very excited to try out the Guardians of the Rift. It's not technically our 4th skilling boss, I guess, but it really does have the same vibe, and I feel like with each skilling boss, they have gotten better than the last one, and it adds a lot to the game in general having these new skilling bosses. Runecrafting is not the most popular skill, so I feel like this is a much-needed update for runecrafting. Hopefully, we'll be getting a much more enjoyable method for crushing out some runecrafting XP, but we'll see exactly how much fun it is when it actually comes out, of course. There are some very interesting runecrafting rewards out of this, too. It's not all about the XP rates. I like the Colossal Pouch a ton, since using multiple rune pouches kinda blows, and I'm very interested in seeing the Abyssal Creature Pet and the Abyssal Lantern. Hopefully those are going to make some solid Fashionscape add-ons. The runecrafting outfit also looks really cool. There are some very interesting runecrafting rewards out of this too. It's not all about the XP rates. I like the Colossal Pouch a ton, since using multiple rune pouches kinda blows, and I'm very interested in seeing the Abyssal Creature Pet and the Abyssal Lantern. Hopefully those are going to make some solid Fashionscape add-ons. The runecrafting outfit also looks really cool. It's not just Fashionscape, since it's actually pretty useful, but I do like the outfit with all the recolor options. That's all that I wanted to talk about with the upcoming Guardians of the Rift update, everybody. Personally, I'm very much looking forward to trying out this new content. Do you hate runecrafting and now you need a new method to actually train runecrafting? Do you already have 99 runecrafting and now these scrubs are just going to get it easy and you had to do it the old difficult way? Let me know how you feel about the upcoming runecrafting minigame in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching this video, everybody. If you got some useful information out of it, or you just enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. I do stream on Twitch, which should be linked on the screen and in the description. I'm also on Twitter and have a Discord, which are linked in the description. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and I will see you on the Guardians of the Rift grind in March.